Should you focus on earning more money or saving more money by reducing expenses if you want to improve your financial situation? That's what we're going to talk about today. Let's first focus on the earning more side, okay? When does that make more sense than trying to save by reducing expenses? Well, maybe you don't make that much money to begin with, or you have mandatory expenses that are so high that even if you're budgeting correctly, it's hard to make the numbers add up in your favor. Earning money is at least potentially limitless. And that is one reason why many people say that's where you focus on building that gap. So I guess it's not literally limitless, but it's potentially no ceiling. Now, statistically, we know there probably is some practical ceiling, but at least theoretically, there isn't. And there's potentially a chance to get promoted or to get a raise, find a higher paying job, start a side hustle, whereas you can only save so much, and saving might not be enough to help you in your situation. When you focus on earning more, you might set yourself up better for the long term. So we could say long-term prospects, I guess we could say, then maybe short-term savings that are not sustainable over the long term. So that's another consideration. It's also possible that depending on how you do it, you can get more immediate relief from financial stress from earning more. So we could say, is it better for stress, whereas figuring out ways to cut spending to maybe an extreme degree actually generates more anxiety? That's another possibility. Earning more can also open up the door for opportunities you can't consider when you're only cutting from your budget. Like, for example, investing or real estate as a possibility. Whereas if you're just cutting from your budget, and I guess we would really call it save/cut, that is not a possibility. Now, when does it make more sense to look at cutting from your budget in order to save more? Well, if you're not in a position to change jobs, or you don't want to change jobs, so we could call that job immobility for whatever reason, self-imposed or circumstantial, that may be a reason to do the math and figure out, hey, you know what? Budgeting and cutting is going to get me where I need to be. Another reason why it can make more to focus on saving versus earning more is what we call lifestyle inflation. And there's another term that's often used here, which is called hedonic adaptation. And this is the ability of humans to get used to the status quo. You used to earn $30,000 a year and you just kind of got by. Suddenly you make $60,000 a year. That's twice what you were making. Great. So things feel very different all of a sudden. But then your lifestyle adjusts to your your new earnings, and it ends up sort of feeling the same way. You have adapted to spending more money as your baseline. People tend to buy nicer things when they start making more because they think they deserve it or can afford it, or it'll make them happier, or whatever the case might be. That is when looking at the spending and saving habits can be very useful. If you know that you have a tendency towards lifestyle inflation or hedonic adaptation. The other thing is that saving/cutting can be immediate. Right? Starting a side hustle, getting a promotion, finding a new job, these things can take time. And that is another aspect to this. Now, the great thing about the cut versus earn discussion is you can do both. You can fight this war on both fronts, and that can actually be the most promising way to improve your financial situation, which is, let me really do a very systematic review of all of the spending to see where I can cut, really looking at everything and saying, can I save here? Can I cut? And also considering, how can I get a promotion? Are there educational opportunities that are affordable that will increase my path to more income? Starting a side hustle, all of the other things we discussed. Are you someone who tends to one or the other or both? Let me know in the comments.